I started writing a few years ago. I'd always wanted to write, but I never really had the time. And I always thought I'd write children's stories because I used to make up stories for my children. And a few years ago, there was a competition in a magazine in England, and my daughter told me she wanted to write a novel. She was 16 at the time. And she looked at the rules and regulations, and she phoned me up and she said, I can't because I'm only 16. I was in England at the time and she was in France. And I said to her, well, you'll just have to wait a couple of years to do it. And she said, no, why don't you do it? You go in for the competition, you write a novel. And I said, I don't think I could ever write a novel. And she said, I'm sure you could. And that night I went to bed and I had an idea for a novel. And the next day I started writing and I just never stopped. Okay, so my writing process isn't that complicated. I know the beginning. I always have the beginning scene in my head. For example, the dinner party in behind closed doors, and then the car going through the woods at the breakdown. And I usually know the end, but I don't know how to get there. But then I let the characters take me on the journey, and that's really good fun, just finding the way to get to the end that I want to get to, and I always manage in the end. I was driving down a road. It was the afternoon, it wasn't the night, but the sky suddenly darkened and there was a huge storm and the rain was coming down. It was all over the road. And I was going through some woods at a time and there was nobody else around. And I thought, gosh, what would I do if I broke down? And if it was the night, I'd feel really scared. And then I wondered what I would do if I saw a car stopped along the road with somebody broken down. And I thought, would I stop? It was the middle of the night. What would I do? And I thought, well, if it was a man, I probably wouldn't stop. If it was a woman, I might do, but then it might be a trap. And would I get out of my car? Would I go and help her? What if she had an accomplice waiting? And I thought this was a really good dilemma. And I love these kind of dilemma things. And I thought that would be a great starting point for a book. The advice I would give to aspiring writers is to never ever give up. If you really want to be a writer, you can get there. Of course there are disappointments, you might get rejection letters, but you just have to get over it, allow yourself to be disappointed for a couple of minutes, and then just go on and write another book. If it can happen to me, it can really happen to anybody. I was just a mum at home with my children, a teacher as well, but I wasn't extraordinary by any means. So, as I said, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. So next for me is just writing more books. I'm really happy because my third book, I finished it the other day in the hotel room in New York, and I thought that was really fitting. It's the first time I've been to New York, and I finished my third book there. So that's going to come out in England next year, and then I think it will come out in the US in June next year. So I'm really looking forward to that.